Hey guys, so I decided to start this layout with an inspiration photo that I got, and I will include the link on my blog. And so here I'm just showing you a bunch of supplies that I pulled. Some of them are from the Clover add-on kit, some are from my stash. This paper pad is from Target. Those are printables from my mixed media class from Studio Calico. And there was some Studio Calico cork arrows in there and some fancy pants envelopes, so just all sorts of things that I pulled from my stash that I thought would work with the pictures that I chose. And the two pictures that I chose were from my honeymoon, which granted that was 5 years ago, and I've actually scrapbooked these photos before, but I really liked the blue watercolor background in the inspiration, and I thought they worked really well with my photos. So that's kind of why I went in this direction. So basically I just took out my watercolors and my water brush and a cup of water, and I just watercolored all over the place using some different blues and some green until I was pretty happy with it. And I did take some and flick it to get those drops because I wanted that spread out look. And I almost wish that I would have done even more watercoloring, but my paper got really warped during this, so I think next time I would use some watercolor paper and kind of layer it up that way. So that cork frame there is from Freckled Fawn, and it came in a grab bag from a long time ago, but it says be wild, be free, and I thought that was perfect because this layout is all about the dolphins that we saw when we rented a boat and we just drove into I don't know, I guess it's the Bay Area. I don't even know what it's called, but anyway, we honeymooned in Panama City Beach, Florida, and that's actually where we got married too. But we rented this boat and we went out on the water, and all day I wanted to see dolphins, and I never saw them. And then as soon as we were getting ready to come home and go back to our rental house, there was dolphins, and we saw them, and one of you even slapped his tail in the water, and I don't know, it was just a really cool experience. And even though I've already scrapbooked this before, it was a long time ago, and I wanted to re-scrapbook it with some of my supplies and knowledge that I have now, because obviously 5 years ago I was a much different scrapbooker than I am today. So this was from the Pier collection, which actually came out last summer, but I really like the collection, and I didn't use it a whole lot last year. In fact, I don't do a lot of summer layouts because I feel like I don't take many summer pictures, and we don't go on vacations a lot, so that's why I thought it was kind of perfect to bring it in with our beach wedding and beach honeymoon. So this sheet of vellum I absolutely love. It's kind of hard to see because it's a cut apart sheet, or it looks like a cut apart sheet, but it's not exactly 3x4 and 4x6s, which I think is really strange. But anyway, I love the colors, and I love the softness of the vellum and the clouds, and so I bought I bought 2 extras, and I have a third one that came in a kit, so I was pretty excited to discover that vellum cloud paper, and I'm going to be using it all the time. So here I took a polka dot stamp, background stamp, and I stamped it with that white chalk ink, but it pretty much did nothing. I don't know if that's because it was on top of the watercolor, or sometimes I just don't get good results from those chalk inks. So I went with my second idea, which was Versamark ink and some white embossing powder. And the effect still came out really subtle once I get done with it here, but you notice it more in person. So, and I ended up covering up quite a bit with pictures and embellishments and whatnot, but like I said, in person you can actually see more of the texture and the details, so I really like the way this came out. I think it just added just something a little bit extra to the background, and that was also from the inspiration photo, which like I said, I will include a better picture of that and a picture of my layout at the end of this video so you can get a really good look. So Anyway, here I am just heat setting, and as you can tell, the paper is getting really warped, and I'm hoping once it goes into the page protector and it sits for a while that it'll become less warped, because even whenever I was taking this photograph, it was like a week and a half after I made it and it was so warped still, so we'll just have to see how it goes. So that little flag clip on the photo is from Studio Calico, and it came in the Clover add-on kit, and I really loved that ampersand, and I don't know, it was from the mixed media class, so I guess it's an ampersand Project Life card, but I really like the color, and the ampersand just worked. Everything, even though I didn't set out to make this a monochromatic layout, it pretty much was, except for the pops of like the brown cork. It just turned out to be a very blue-green layout, but it was, a beach theme or a water themed layout, so of course it's really easy to work in the blues and greens on those types of layouts. So here I feel like I'm ready to glue things down, and I know where I pretty much want things, so here I'm trying to get that paper to unwarp, but yeah, no luck. So anyway, so I just decided to start gluing things down because I think I know how I want them, and I do play around with it a little bit, but in the end I stayed pretty true to what I had originally started out with. And just so you know, whenever I do like an inspiration or like an inspiration based layout, like in this one, it was mostly based on the watercolor in the background. It's not necessarily exactly like where the photos or embellishments are placed. And sometimes it is, but my sketches or my layout inspirations are very, very loosely based. So if you're like, wow, I don't really see how she got any inspiration from that photo, it looks nothing like what she started out with. Yeah, I go way off base. I mean, I get more of the feel of it, I guess I should say. So there I attached the vellum piece to the photo first because I didn't want any of those glue dots to show behind the vellum, so I wanted to make sure they were all behind the photos, and it worked out well that they settled around that frame. Like I placed them so they would settle around that frame because I don't want any pop dots on top of the frame. So as you can see there, I do consult the original printout of the layout that I was inspired by, and I'm actually surprised that I referred back to it because normally I don't. Normally I just start out with it. And as I was adhering those embellishments, I will warn you, they did pop back off after this layout had sat around for a week or so, like I said before I photographed it, so just beware if you are using watercolors. Yeah, it was kind of bad, but I love the way this layout turned out. It's actually one of my favorite layouts in a long time. Well, I shouldn't say a long time, but it's definitely one of my more recent favorites. And I even used up that cork circle from Studio Calico. I used up all the other circles in that kit, except for that little anchor one there on the right-hand side. And this is the perfect layout because it was, water-themed, and anchors fit in with that. So I was actually able to use all of an embellishment pack from my Studio Calico kits, which is so, so rare. And this little piece, it ended up popping off later, and I just left it off because I didn't feel like it really worked with the layout. It was mint with some dark, like navy blue stars, and it looks really cute, but it just didn't work on the layout. And then it popped off because the pop dots were way too thick. I should have used maybe some glue dots, but anyway, it popped off and I haven't fixed it. So the Amy Tan geotag heart stamp didn't stamp perfectly, but I'm okay with that. I just left it. I try not to stress about things like that because I know that if I stamped it again, it would come out even worse. And that's I think a Dear Lizzie date stamp, and I just stamped it 2 or 3 times at the top with the date. I didn't put a specific date. I just said September of 2009. And then I'm trying to decide where to do my journaling and my title, because at the bottom right there's a lot of white space, so I was like, do I do my title there or my journaling? What do I want my title to be? So I shuffled through a lot of my thickers, and I decided to go ahead and use these. They're from the Clover kit, but they're by Dear Lizzie, and I really like the way they look. Even though the circles are hard to get the letters lined up straight, but I never really worry about getting the letters on straight, or like if they're turned a little bit one way or curved, it, you know, I totally go with the flow, guys. I mean, if you watch my videos, you know that I don't care about keeping them on a ruler or keeping them super straight. I just really honestly try to have a good time with scrapbooking, and getting my memories down, so that's what's most important to me. So these stickers, I honestly could not tell you how old they are or what they're from or anything. I just pulled them out of my stash because they were the perfect color and I liked the font. And they were kind of like rubbery. Not exactly like the newer Amy Tangerine rubber ones, but they were just like a little bit more plasticky and rubbery feeling, and I like that a lot better. As much as I love the chipboard letter stickers, or thickers I should say, they are horrible to stick. Like, I can almost never get them to stick properly. The glue always wears off practically before you even get it out of the store, I feel like. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and do my journaling up in the left-hand corner there. And I did quite a bit of journaling. It even goes down a little ways. But I like the way this layout turned out. I like the colors. I like the monochromaticness of it, with just, the couple pops of gold or cork color, which are actually very similar now that I think about it. Gold, cork, and wood. They're all kind of like that brownish gold color. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.